What's going on, everyone? It's Blair from Tall Guy Builders. Going through the Carriage House. Welcome back to episode 3 of the Carriage House Chronicles. So we've really cleaned up this west room over here. We started stripping all the beadboard off of the ceiling and the walls in order to get a look at the framing. And some of what we see is not too bad. Those are 2x12s up there in pretty good shape. And some of it is not great. We've got this, it's like a 4x8 post, or beam rather, in this corner. That's totally compromised. So we've scabbed some pieces of wood on there. We're actually gonna straighten those scabs out and then run some 2x6s across there in order to hold that up in a temporary fashion. Looking off down here, this beam is pretty soft down here too, so we're probably going to end up with some LVLs across here to sort of hold that together while we do this temporary work. So, but then again, it's getting a better look at all the framing. A lot of this framing up here seems to be in pretty decent condition. The sheathing is obviously terribly rotted, as well as the roof. You can look straight up above. There's a flat roof up there that doesn't even look like it exists. You can just see right through this, when they have planks like that on old houses and new houses now, we do plywood for the most part, plywood or OSB on your outside sheathing of the house. Back then they use planks of wood, usually pine or fir. We call that skip sheathing. So you can again see that east wall, which is totally collapsed. So, but again, going through, looking at a lot of this stuff, you see you've got this beam right here. You look at that load path, that's going straight up to one of the ridges, and then you come on down here. It's not totally soft, but it's not in great shape. So this must have had some water infiltration coming down this and soaked all this staining over here. So, and then looking at this over in this back corner, not entirely sure what this whole wall is sitting on. As we walk over here, you can see there's a beam and it kind of goes that way, but it also looks like it may have rolled. Sort of see like a pocket right here, which is maybe where a floor joist was going into, but it looks like it rolled. You can see this beam over here is in better shape. See these pockets right here? That usually means that there was actually a floor here. There were floor joists coming out of that because they sort of notched them in. They actually did a lot of this construction without many nails. You'll see stuff. Oh, take a look right there. So this beam, there was a beam right here. You can see the end of it. We cut it off because it was rotten. And they put this is a mortise and tenon joint. And then the way that they lock it in is with these wooden pegs. We call that a tusk and tenon joint. As the tenon comes through, and then that wooden peg kind of looks like a walrus tusk. So you see a lot of that construction. And then most of these wall studs, as they come down, they're not nailed into that beam in the bottom. They're actually just pocketed right in. And sort of gravity holds them there. And you will see things, they did know about cross bracing back then as far as shear strength. You see some of that here and there occasionally. Not as much as you would require in a modern building, but there's some. So again, looking back over here, you've got some cross bracing. This section of the beam, which is higher up above the grade, seems to be in better shape. It's, I think, one of the keys for having wood of this, sort of this vintage is it has to stay dry. We've got a staircase over here that's pretty precarious. We're not really going to go up there. You can see these compromised beams right here. There's a joint where those two beams came together. This is totally compromised here. and then, yeah, a little bit more rot up top. So, but yeah. So again, keeping wood dry, keeping wood of this vintage dry, you know, because they didn't have pressure treated wood. If they had wood that would be in a wood area, I think they would usually cover it with tar or some sort of creosote treatment. But for the most part, yeah, they aim to keep wood dry, keep it up, set your foundation, set your beams on some fieldstone foundation to keep it up. The other alternative, like what we have here in Boston, some of the buildings in like the Back Bay area and stuff, they're actually built on posts. They drive these long, tall posts, like kind of look like telephone poles, down into the water, and those will be fine as long as they stay fully wet. If they don't get any oxygen, they won't rot. But you know, stuff like this beam looks like it got buried in the dirt, in the soil, just over the years. On the backside, there's a whole bunch of brush and debris, so the dirt just sort of builds up over the year as all that material breaks down, and then that dirt holds water against the wood, and then bugs get to the wood. The water helps start to decay that wood, and then it all gets broken down, and you end up with rot and sag. So, not good things if you want your building to last and stick together. This is a curiosity that we're really trying to figure out here. Do you guys see this thing right here? This looks like a wooden chimney, and we've seen a bunch of these in this place, and that actually goes up to, there's a couple up there up on the top of the roof. And it really is it just looks like a ventilation shaft. And we're really trying to figure out what these things are doing, because there were several of them in this place. There's a remnant of one that was here. This came down over here this way, and it actually went up above. It almost had like a catwalk straight across. And we're just trying to figure out, why would a barn need a wooden ventilation shaft? If any of you guys out there know anything more about carriage houses or barns, I'd be curious to hear what that is all about. So anyway, that's our update on episode 3 of the Carriage House Chronicles. We're salvaging a whole bunch of material here. We're saving all this beadboard. We pulled out a nice piece of furniture from there. A lot of junk, scrap metal. This side over here, we've done the temporary framing, but we really haven't started getting into this demo. This is going to be a little bit more precarious, so we need to get prepped to get going on that stuff. So anyway, thank you guys for checking out the YouTube channel, the Carriage House Chronicles. There's the big house right there. And stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks, guys. Like and subscribe if you want to keep checking out our cool project. Cheers.